I want to introduce you all to a youth mindset development model which I have created based on the knowledge and the experience that I have gathered around the years. First of all, we need to understand who are these youth that we are referring here. Nowadays, we call youth for individuals categorized under Gen Z, which means they're probably born around 1997 to 2012. We will be starting with term receptive. What is receptive? By definition, it's the willingness to accept feedback. Simon Sinek multiple times mentioned that human brain cannot comprehend negative, which means like if you tell a child not to do anything, they will still go ahead and do it. If you give negative feedback to anyone, they will counterattack. So which means biologically we are not designed to be receptive all the time. We have to fight against negative. So therefore I wanna introduce you to this 3-second pause process. 3-second pause is not something I invented. It has been there. I'm not sure where it was started, but people say before you respond, take a breath, take 3 seconds, and probably the entire response will be changed. But through this process, I'm going to show I will help you to understand how the process which is supposed to work inside your head, which is has to happen within 3 seconds. It'll happen. Once you practice, it'll happen. So let's start with the process. You get the feedback and then immediately it will process in your head and try to understand whether this is positive feedback or negative feedback. And usually based on that, it will go through your emotional process. Now this is the challenge. Whether it's positive or negative, how are you going to eliminate your emotions? Probably not to show. Even if it's positive, you don't have to show too much of happiness. Or if it's a negative feedback, completely you have to eliminate your emotion, and then you have to start response. Even if it's a positive feedback, you can acknowledge the feedback and then you can provide another feedback saying, yes, thank you very much, I will keep doing this, or I will add this next time and do it better. And of course, if it's a negative feedback, especially when you don't have information to support, you don't need to fight for it. If you need to go back and check, you can always say, I would not deny it because I do not have the information right now, but let me get back to you. I will check if this has happened from our end or my end. We can correct it. Or if you know already that you have made a mistake, you can acknowledge and you can provide a response on how you're gonna correct in the future. This is something that we seriously need to take into account. Nowadays, you can see most of the youth, they tend to refuse this negative feedback. In order to understand our thinking process, you can research further on Daniel Kahneman's Thinking Fast and Slow book. There, he clearly explained how the thinking process works. There's system 1 and system 2. System 1 is the immediate response. System 2 takes time but is more logical. So the next component is trust. Here, the trust means doing the right thing. Sometimes we overpower this performance with the right attitude. Basically, it's not about what you did, it's about how you did it. Something I learned from Simon Sinek is how you measure your performance versus trust. He explained how Navy SEAL teams are getting picked, comparing performance versus trust. Here, everybody wants the purple guy because high performance and the high trust, but they are rare to find. You cannot easily find them. Whoever is there, probably they've already been taken. So you have to settle for somewhere else. Then again, where are you gonna settle? Are you gonna go with the low performance high trust guy? Or are you gonna go with the high performance low trust guy? Do you want a high performance guy who you cannot be trusted? Or do you want a low performance guy or average performance guy where you can trust? Let's see how Simon Sinek applies this to business world. This is a sales achieving figures of two individuals or two sales managers. The person in red, you can see is performing with a high fluctuation, but end of the year achieve the target. Person in blue has shown very stable performance, but fell short from the target. Person in red, we don't know how he or she has achieved the target. Might have bluffed or lied and done probably all sort of crooked things to get the targets. Probably have a high churn rate also, but still we reward the person rather than the person in blue. Probably have very less churn rate, high retention of the customers. Probably the customers who that person has acquired will benefit the company in coming years, probably not this year, because those customers probably will retain more than the other guys. So who are you going to trust? The guy with high performance where you don't know how it was how that the target was achieved, or you want to get the low performance or average performer who you know for certain has gone in the right process. The next component is what we call the game. So what is this game? James P. Cass in his book Finite and Infinite Games describes two types of games. First, finite games. Finite games are what we call known players, known rules, and most importantly, they are played to win. Just take probably a cricket match. There are rules, there are players, you know fixed who are going to play the game. You can't add more people during the game, and you play to win. And there's no question about it. So in the life also, we play finite games daily basis. So there are things in the office, in the school that you do with the expectation of a result. Like I said, could be a cricket match or could be a chess game. But a life, the life is what we call it's an infinite game. What is the infinite game? In infinite game, you don't play to win. You play to keep playing or keep yourself in the game. That game does not end. So we need to understand where to play which game. Finite games, you put high performance, high effort, and it's always targeting a shorter period. Could be hours, could be days, could be week, or could be month. But infinite game, that goes on. So in life or in business, in workplace, you need to understand what is your role. When you're a junior executive, probably you have played or you have been playing the finite game on daily basis. You are not expected to plan ahead, create strategies. But let's say you become a manager, then you are expected to play more onto infinite. Probably you still have finite portion, but there you have to plan ahead. You have to have strategies. You have to think future. Not today, not tomorrow, probably this month, this quarter, this year, or next 5 years. So you should know in infinite games there are no winners. There are only temporary setbacks. So when you fall behind, you don't have to worry. It's not like losing a game. There's nothing to be worried. Even in life, when you lose a chess game, if you think that's the end of your world or the career, that means you don't know what is the game that you're playing. So it's always about how you come back. If you're playing the infinite game, you know it's not over yet. The next aspect is abundance. In the book called Abundance by Peter Diamandis and Stephen Kotler, they have tried to explain what is really a scarce resource, because sometimes when we figure out certain things are scarce, actually when you look at them through technology and innovation, they are not truly scarce. There's only very little that are truly scarce. Take example of the solar power. At every moment, there are about 173,000 of terawatts of solar flux landing on Earth, and our annual consumption is around 24,000 terawatts. Just imagine how many solar powers are left to be used. But still, we have an energy crisis in the world. Why is that? It's not because we don't have the resource. It's because we still haven't find the means and ways of capitalizing what we are receiving. So same thing in life, you need to understand. Be creative, be innovative. When you hit the wall, when you think you don't have enough time, there can be always a ways and means of getting things done. You just need to think creatively. When you think creatively, when you innovate new things, your life can be more convenient than it has been. So, always don't think we don't have. There is more to us. One more example I can take. There are a lot of people who do not pursue an education or never try to learn new things. When you ask why, they say, I can't afford. I want to do this, I want to do that, but I can't afford it. You can't afford a paper qualification, but you still can afford the knowledge. Everybody browse Google, YouTube, or any other social media. How many things that you can learn? Everything. It can be about PowerPoint or Excel or any other tool or any other theory, any other new theory or logic, whatever. Everything can be founded online. So it's not that you don't have it, you have the access. The final portion is proficiency. Now, what is proficiency? Now, in the linguistic world, performance is how you do well in the classroom, but proficiency is how well you manage in the real life world. Let's take a rugby match scenario. Now, you have this place kicker. During practices, he kicks well. That means he's a good performer, which is why he is getting selected to the team. But in the game scenarios, he is failing to deliver, failing to score, which means he is not proficient enough to perform in the real life. So whatever you learn, doesn't matter how well you do in the classroom or in your head, as long as you are unable to perform in the real life world. Take this model as a guide to your life. If you can master each of these concepts, I believe that will really help to navigate successfully through your life challenges and reach your goals.